Yo, no lie, Corey Taylor is like on the high list of like some of my favorite human beings.
Was he shorter than you expected?
Yo, Corey, if you hear this, you know how we pluck at each other. Yes, he is.
What's going on? It's me, Jesse Lee, as that theme music might suggest. That's actually written and recorded by the band Loveless, by the way, if you've never checked them out. Fantastic duo. I gotta get them on the podcast soon. I did some content with them, did some TikTok content with them, saw them live, recorded some stuff, but I've never sat down and had a proper interview with those guys. I gotta do it, you know? They're the flagship song for the Jesse Lee Show. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about the band Oxymorrons. I got their vocalist Dave, aka Deee, on today on the show. They're an interesting group because they could go play like an EDM festival, which like a bunch of pop artists, which they do, and they'll turn around and play like Aftershock or Louder Than Life Festival, two festivals they are absolutely playing this year. You know, they're kind of hard to pin down in one genre. You know, I guess the closest umbrella term for them would be rap rock. You know, we get into this podcast, we talk about the differences between rap rock and new metal. We also talk about wrestling a lot. We're both big wrestling fans, so we kind of nerd out on that for a while. We talk about their tour with Corey Taylor and the tour they did with Bad Omens, how that went over. We also talk about why they wrote a song about Mike Shinoda, what the inspiration was behind that. And we touched on the whole idea, or really the reality of touring as a musician when you're not on the Taylor Swift level. You know, everyone kind of below that, what the real life struggles are for being a touring musician. If you're listening or watching this show on Spotify, make sure to follow the podcast so you get notified every time I drop an episode. You don't want to miss that shit, right? Also, there's on the profile page, there's 5 little stars. If you could go ahead and click all 5 of them, it takes like less than 5 seconds probably. Just hit all 5 of those stars, you know. Or, I mean, if this is a 1-star situation for you, if you feel like you're having a 1-star experience right now, I guess, you know, you can be a dill lead and leave that. But I would prefer you leave 5 stars. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, again, you get notified. And if you're following or if you're listening on any other platform, I don't know what you would do on those. I guess if you see any kind of button to interact, you know, if you're listening on Deezer, I don't know if this podcast is available on Deezer. I don't know if anyone even is using Deezer right now, but if it is, if you're listening to me on Deezer right now, let me know. All the Deezers out there, Dee's up, you know, let me know. Let's Deez, well, you know. Also, please, if you do dig the episode and you decide to share it, you know, snap a screenshot and share on your social media, tag me. I'm going to reshare that. We're going to get some love going back and forth. I'm going to put you on blast as a big old fan, yeah? Or I won't. If you want to keep your fandom a secrecy, that's okay too, but just let me know at least. Let me know. I'll keep it a secret. All right, let's dive into the episode. Well, dude, congrats on the single "Look Alive," man. It charted on Billboard. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that it's wild. I don't to tell you the truth, it's all of this is just wild because it just you spend so much time in the space of being an up and coming band, so and then these things kind of happen and you're kind of in a new space.
That mainstream notoriety, yeah.
Yeah, this is the new space for Oxy. And what's funny, it feels wild because even the term mainstream notoriety, I feel like, I go outside and get my sandwich and nobody knows who I am. So
because you know how many followers I got?
You know, is it really mainstream notoriety? The way, like, the way the words hold true? I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm proud of it, though. I'm very proud.
Hell yeah. I heard in this song, there's a John Cena reference in that track. Are you guys big wrestling fans?
Yes. Big wrestling fans. Watch a lot of wrestling all the damn time. Kind of gets ridiculous. In fact, it's not funny. Our first Aftershock, the first time we ever played Aftershock, which we'll be playing again this fall. We came as the Generation X. We all wore DX shirts on stage.
Dude, that rules, man. I gotta see some pictures of that. I sure wore my DX shirt.
Yo, that show was fun. That was very, very fun.
Are you guys watching WrestleMania this weekend? Heel Rock
Yeah,
back?
Definitely. Come on. Absolutely. Dude. 1,000% we'll be watching WrestleMania for sure.
It's so exciting, over
man. Here. Anyway, if the weather allows, I'll be having a barbecue at the house, so it'll be cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Like it was like a tough, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 years there where like it wasn't popular. Like if you still watched it, it was like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like everything has that kind of moment. Well, other than like mainstream sports,
Yeah.
everything kind of has that moment where it's kind of like, yo, you're rocking, you're on the top of the world, and then you're back to being the weirdo you originally were in the first place.
Right.
There's you know, like there. Think about wrestling. Like you really can't come up with that without being a weirdo first. You got to kind of be like, all right, I'm kind of not like you guys, and I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then this gets big enough to the point where they're like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. And now, and now you're here, you're kind of cool. And then something happens, like, this isn't really cool anymore. And now you're back down here figuring it out, still living this life. And then they turn again and go, oh shit, they're cool again.
Yeah.
And you're back up again.
It definitely ebbs and flows, man. Definitely ebbs. Dude, could you imagine? I could never imagine when I, like 10 years from now or 10 years ago, that in 2024, I'd be watching heel rock at WrestleMania, and wrestling would be as popular as it's ever been before. And meanwhile, new metal bands like Limp Bizkit are selling out stadiums. Like, what? Like, literally, my 12-year-old self is like just re-flourishing, you know, again.
It all goes in waves, man. And I think one of the things that's driving it is one of the things we talk about right now as a band is like we're shaping up new stuff and we're thinking about like next phases is what it means to be an entertainer. Mm-hmm. I think in this day and age, with the way things shifted, you're more of an entertainer than ever. Not completely focused on just the craft you've mastered, but overall entertaining across the board. You know, and I think that's where you're seeing the social media thing where it's clicking in that kind of way because people want to be entertained in different ways, and it may not just be music. Music has always played that role where people kind of run to it at times where it's needed. But it's been oversaturated to the point where I think people run to other things, and music tends to be the soundtrack to those other things.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you can find a way to connect with fans, like on a personal level like that, like if you have somebody, it's ideally if everybody in the band is this way, but at least if you have one member in the band that's able to make that strong social media connection with people, that people like want to follow that person, not even so much they want to follow them because of the music, they want to follow them because they think that person's fucking cool and dope, or they funny or whatever it is. And then it's like, yeah, I like their tunes too. You know, that's where they're really selling.
Exactly. That's where some of the bonuses come at. I feel like we're just in a time of like the Wild Wild West where there's no really particular formula. I think you just kind of got to just go out there, be yourself, and what you create and who you are within the honesty and authenticity of that message will gravitate the people to you in a really, really cool way. Yeah. That's how we found what we're doing to be rewarding in that kind of a way where it's like because it's not by any means there yet financially rewarding where it's like, oh shit, but it is rewarding to see an idea, a concept that stay true to what it is shine a little bit. It's really cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, speaking of big personalities, you guys toured with Corey Taylor last year, right?
Ooh, my God. No lie, Corey Taylor is like on the high list of like some of my favorite human beings, period.
Yeah.
Like he's an awesome guy. I think like, I don't think people really realize like, the rap he gets. He filled a really big shoe stepping into, a Slipknot the way he did when he did so long ago. And at the end of the day, also just riding these waves. Not knowing him before touring, he had caught wind of us. He saw us on Shiprock, and I heard the stories of him watching us. Like, and I was like, damn, that's cool. But I had never met him. And then he gave us the offer, and when we met him, you kind of, there was this idea in my mind of who he is, like between the stories you read, the music, all the online persona shit. So I'm walking in like very conflicted, like, oh shit, I don't know, this is Corey Taylor. He's going to be obviously very stern and very fucking strong, but he's also might be a complete dickhead.
Right.
You
don't know what you're getting.
Then, it's such a crapshoot. You're like, cause I don't know, man, fuck. And then you walk in and this dude is just like the most lovable, chillest, cool, like comes to us. We didn't even have to go to him, came to us. Hugs, not handshakes, hugs. and just embraced us in a way that I no lie. I was like, oh, holy shit. This is the complete opposite of what I thought of Corey Taylor was. And then proceeded to just like, we proceeded to have a blast. Like, legitimately one of the best tours I've ever been on to the point. That's why we did it twice back to back.
Man, was he shorter than you expected? I feel like he's a lot smaller than I expected him to be.
Yo, Corey, if you hear this, you know how we pluck at each other. Yes, he is. He's a little shorter than I expected. Listen, man, what he lacks in heart, he has in confidence. listen, what he lacks in height, he absolutely has in confidence.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you learn any kind of like almost lessons or anything like that from hanging out with a legend like that for 2 tours?
All of those guys, like, they just operate on a high level. Like, one of the things we've gotten to see, just being able to, we've been really blessed as a band. It doesn't normally happen like that, and we know it. We've toured with a lot of established bands. We've gotten some really cool support slots. And just the levels of how each tour we've ever been on has been super, super over the top professional. So we've gotten a lens on like where the bar is.
Yeah.
And Corey's bar is fucking up there, man. I'm talking about from every member of that team just operates on such a high level as far as doing their jobs, but also just awesomely, really great, just good people. And like, and Corey, and that's what I'm saying. The bar is set from the top down. So it's like, so Corey's just like that. Like, there's no different if Corey, if you're like, oh, I'm thirsty, he hears that, he'll grab you a soda.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, there's no ego. I've never been in a room full of legends from, Tunch, all these people, like legitimately, like, these musicians are all legends and zero fucking ego. Wow. I was just like, this is crazy. Treated us like we have been in the business as long as they have. And it was, I have nothing but great words to say about Corey.
That's awesome that he sets the bar like that too. Because like you're saying, like if he's acting like that, then the guitar tech can't be a dick to you guys. Because if he's acting up, it's like, yo, come on, man, Corey's not even acting like this right now. Like, what's your problem?
Exactly, and you kind of see that, and as guys just coming up and catching our stride, we see those things, like like there's so many guys like we got to watch and be like, okay. They are doing it the right way, and be like, oh, wow. And then they'll even tell us, hey, we do it this way because this wasn't the way it was done for us. And we want to make sure we're correcting things and moving forward the way it should be moving forward. It's been a cool experience, man.
Breaking the cycle, man. I love to hear that for sure. Another big band, you guys toured with Bad Omens not too long ago, right?
Oh, the bros. The crazy thing about Bad Omens, like, those are our homies, and it's so funny because it happened so randomly. Like, we knew of them, and we knew and it's before like things really, really took off and got cooking. And I think it was Welcome to Rockville. We were playing Welcome to Rockville, and we knew they had a set. And our set we just had finished our sets. We was like, oh shit, let's go see the Bad Omens set. We wanted to actually see what they were like live. We were like, we've never seen them live before. Let's go. And then be able to do that backstage, lit. So we like ran
That's the way
over
to see it.
and went to go see them live. And I'm not gonna lie, they were fucking crushing it. But I mean, it was that shit. It was going ape shit. But I remember I looked over and Nick, their drummer Nick. I'm a sneakerhead, yo. Crazy sneakerhead. I got like over 400 pairs of sneakers. We can talk about that. OD. And he had on one of my favorite pictures. He's wearing all black Air Max 97s. And he was going in them shits. And I was like, not only are they lit, but they love sneakers too. Yeah. I was like, and I remember turning to Amanda
put creases in that thing, man. What are you doing?
But even that, I was just like, the sheer audacity.
Yeah, I know.
That's rock shit right
the
there.
Balls, man.
The nerve of you. Yeah. I think it's my guy. He's super awesome. And I looked over at him, and I was like, yo, dog, we definitely got to tour with them one day. And then like we hung out a little bit afterwards. We played the Danny Warmer anniversary party together. And then that kind of like sealed the deal. We was backstage war to gunfight and being ridiculous. And then they were like, yo, we got to do this tour together. And then they called and was like, yo, let's go to Europe. We were like, oh shit. So that was cool. And then
go ahead.
No.
How were their fans as far as like how did they react to seeing you guys? Like were they like welcoming to, because it's a different style of music for sure.
Oh, absolutely different style of music. But what I love about Bad Omens fans is how eclectic they are as far as like what they like and what they give a chance. Really, we were received great. Honestly, we were received way better than I even thought we were going to be received.
Nice.
Straight up, that tour was nuts. Shout outs to that entire team. They rolled out the red carpet for us on our first show to Europe. Like, legitimately, we've been kind of spoiled when we hear like stories based on how bands our size go to Europe. And our 2 tours to Europe were like Bad Omens breakout tour, and then Corey Taylor.
Yeah, not
so
a bad way.
we kind of like I said, we kind of got silver spooned into Europe.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I tell you, man, like, listen, man, I don't know the European grind. I showed up and we're on a tour bus with Bad Omens. So like, that
spoiled, man. You're spoiled.
No band.
Can't go back.
We skipped 16 passenger, we skipped sprinter, we skipped bandwagon, we went straight double decker bus. So it's the experience. I couldn't, no lie, you couldn't pay for a better experience.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I obviously get, pretty good access to festivals and shows and like, backstage and stuff. And like now it's like, I'm too pampered. I can't go back. Like I've watched way too many huge bands from side stage to go back to the pit, and I can't do it anymore.
Dude, think about that. I say that to people all the time. I say, I swear, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like having access as a musician has ruined me. Like I went to a festival not playing it, like with no credentials, like just like, bought tickets, regular shit. And I was like, this is so whack. I can't see anything. Where's the water at? I gotta stand in line. Like, what do you mean I can't go further than this? And then I'm like, oh no! I feel like Superman without his skate. No badges.
No, it's like having no access pass is like having kryptonite on you strapped to your neck, man.
Seriously, you're like, I have no superpowers. This sucks. So I totally get you. Like it's like a drug. Once you get a taste of the access, man.
It is, man. Yeah, you got claw and scratch and hold on to that for the rest of your life, basically.
You can't go back to civilian life.
Exactly. Well, all the peasants down there in the pits. Ugh.
What do you mean regular life? No such thing.
I'll live that lifestyle anymore. I'm sorry. Do fans ever like have a hard time like kind of figuring you guys out musically because you do kind of check so many different boxes? Are they like kind of confused at first? Like when you play a show for like a new crowd, especially if you're opening up, do you ever have like initially like faces of people like looking at you like in the audience like that?
That is pretty much 99.9% of the faces anytime we're opening up. That's just what it is. It comes with the territory. The cool part about it is it's never a like, ew, this is horrible face. This is and I call it out by the second song every time. That's just kind of the one thing I do is like, it's the what the fuck am I watching and why do I like it? Like that. It's really kind of, they're all kind of confused. Like, wait a minute. This is a bunch of stuff that I normally like. That's all normally separated. Why is it mashed together? And why do I like this? This is not supposed to make sense. That's the look we get. And then by like song 3, people are like rocking with us and they're like, all right, cool. I'm confused, but I'm just going to accept it and I'll ask questions later. And boom. And that's kind of like the experience.
You guys are like the KFC chicken bowl thing, like the mashed potato. But all the things you like at KFC just put into one giant bowl,
Exactly. Just put it all in. And that's kind of how like we viewed even when we were making the music. So when it's perceived this way, it's our favorite way because it's kind of like, we all love a lot of different types of music. Music is it's more frequency than it is genre. So as long as you can get those sounds to marry each other in really cool ways, you can create some dope shit. Like, and that's that we did. You could be any run-of-the-mill band. Like, let's just be real. Like, based on the fact of how we blended genres, if we decided to stick to one, I'm pretty sure we would do that one really well. Where's the art? Where's the challenge in that though? Where's the art in that? And that's the thing. We didn't create this to be a band in a band in the sea of bands. We didn't create this to kind of be like, all right, let's do music, and this is the path that's carved for musicians. So let's follow the boxes, let's follow the train, and then do that. Nah, we're like, here's this. We want to create art. How do we want to impact? Boom. What means something to us? What is the messaging? Let's create that art, and then what that art does is what it's going to do. That's kind of how art works. That's kind of how like it really touches people. And we're not really attached to the outcome because we know we have no control over the outcome. And I think that's what plagues a lot of bands and musicians sometimes. Not to minimize the struggle because we are in it. We deal with it. We feel it on all levels. It's just to give some ease to some minds if you are listening. Like we don't forget. We learned how to make music commerce, but making music isn't commerce. And think about that. You know,
yeah. You're right. It is a music business, but it's not exactly the business. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. No, that dude. Like, I like that. I like that mindset too. Like, it's tough to watch artists that feel like they can't break out of like what they normally do, so they keep putting out the same thing over and over, and they get unfulfilled, and then the band breaks up, and then the guy goes solo and makes the music that sounds just like the actual band, but not as good. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, and it's because as musicians, remember the job, the role, the thing is always creative first, and if that well dries, now it becomes just a job. It becomes like, and a watch guy, we watch to go through that the most and we don't really notice it is our legends. We kind of encapsulate them in these time capsules of the albums they created that touched us that we never let go of. And we kind of force them to kind of just be that for us. It's kind of really selfish. Fandom is selfish in ways we sometimes don't think about it. And as an artist now, being like pushing shit forward and kind of tasting it in a little bit of myself is kind of this perspective has come in like the last 2-3 years of like, damn, like, yeah, I never thought about that. I'm like, yo, nah, that's my favorite artist. And you'll literally shout the album out. This is the era. They don't get any better than this. And then, you know, like, and you're not thinking like, damn, like, that's it. That's all I got. This is my art. Everything I am is just this to you. Like, and then I sat back like, damn, I got to give my guys a little more. I got to give these other albums a little more.
Right. No, dude. Listen. Everyone's guilty of it. I'm 100% guilty of it. Of like saying like, oh, I love that band. I'm a huge fan of that band. And then I think about like the last record I listened to them was like 20 years ago that they actually put out, like the full record. Or it's like you hear about a band that you love celebrating a 10-year anniversary for a record that you haven't even listened to yet. Because like 10 years, you didn't even listen to the last one. You didn't much listen to one 10 years ago.
And you're like, but every time you talk about them, that's your favorite band in the world. Yeah. It's like, it's just your favorite album in the world. And that's what we just got to kind of like realize sometimes. Sometimes we do fall in love with sonics and sounds because music means so much to us in so many different ways. Like it's so subjective on why someone loves a band and the reasons. It could be like when and how someone falls in love with a band. I know bands that like connected with me at times where I was really, really going through certain things and the music was just speaking to me at that time, that particular album. And then after that, there's nothing they're saying that speaks to me anymore because I'm no longer in that space.
You're not that person,
Yeah, you're not that person anymore. And it's crazy. And in the same way, you're like, as a consumer, you're like, yeah, I'm not that person anymore. So I'm not into that album. Think about the band. I wrote that. I'm no longer that person. And the album cycle in that fans don't see is the fact that where it's like these songs that you like, even when you hear them and they're new, they're not new to us. They are almost sometimes a year or two old. You're like 2 years behind our progressive moments.
Like they're already on to the next.
Yeah. We're already kind of like we've lived 2 more years of life and experience, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this song is amazing." You're like, "Oh my god, I felt like that in 2017."
Yeah, dude. Like one of my favorite bands is this punk band called the Menzingers, and they have like just really depressing punk music. It sounds upbeat, but all the lyrics are super depressing. And the first couple albums resonated with me so hard because I was kind of depressed, you know, and it was all about like being broke and just being like, you know, just trying to figure life out and stuff. And I loved it and it resonated with me so much. But the problem is they're still writing those songs. They just dropped an album like last year or something. Same kind of great songs, but same kind of vibe. I'm like, I'm not that. I'm a little happier now. Like, you know, like it doesn't, these don't hit me the same.
I'm a little less broke. Yeah, it's not, I'm a little less broke. Look, he's like, I do drink Starbucks, bro. Like,
I can afford a latte every now and then.
Yeah, like I'm shocked things haven't lined up for you guys at that point. Yeah. And that's what I mean about
you guys need to make some changes, man.
Yeah, actually, guys, I think you guys need to change life and stop writing albums for us because we've gotten through our problems and clearly you have not gotten through yours. noise.
Right.
It's like, and that's where you start to think as a fan, like, yeah, that's where we encapsulate our artists. We don't even notice we're doing it. We're doing it out of love. It's so crazy. We're not noticing it, but there's all these nuances in music because it's one of those things that gets so close to people.
Oh yeah.
And that's the magic. That's for me has always been the magic, the gift, because it's not something I learned. It's something that I was, you're born with it and then you sharpen it. It gets better because you just sharpen the tool. So I'm always grateful for the fact that I even can do this, because I feel like it's very chosen, because not everybody can.
It's not something everybody gets to do, for sure. Yeah, you guys, like we were saying, like you don't fit into like just one box, but I think like the kind of the genre you would most identify with would be rap rock, right? That'd be the closest kind of like umbrella genre, I guess. And that's different than nu metal, right? Like I feel like there's definitely a distinction here between nu metal and rap rock.
Yeah, the crazy part is, and that's the thing with labels, and especially when you're blending so much, nu metal. Think about the bands that fall in nu metal and what they sound like. Like even nu metal for themselves, it's all over the place. You know, like think like Limp Bizkit is nu metal. You know, and I'm like, yeah, Limp Bizkit, nu metal. Now, why is Incubus also considered nu metal?
Right.
What?
Right.
You see that where it's like Incubus is my fiance's favorite band, and she's like, she loves it. Oh, and I'm like, okay, if you played these bands for me, I'll be like, they're not similar.
They don't sound anything alike.
You cannot tell me they went into a room and said, we're gonna make the same music. No, they're not. It's just tones. I really, to tell you the truth, I really don't know what dictates what, like the parameters for what a nu metal song is. I don't know that. Rap rock is obvious. People rapping and they rocking on the tracks. You know, and that varies. I think one of the things, and we're talking to the team about this because we always kind of like discuss what we're doing and what we look like moving forward and things. And in particular with what we do, why it sounds so different and the textures and feels so different, because most of our hip hop textures are true to hip hop. It isn't a rocker trying to rap.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's a variation of that. Like I learned to rap first. So then my approach is completely different. The cadences I'm using, the word choice, the vernacular, the way we spin the words. So you're thinking it's really like if Jay-Z and Linkin Park made the band, because Jay-Z's an actual rapper. Like, you know, me and my brother we didn't like just when guys were playing, not to knock anybody, we didn't grow up in the scene. You know, the scene was kind of created. Like we grew up listening to NARD and rap shit, but it was like I literally did the battle scene. I went through battles. We did freestyle battles and you know, art, and then it just kind of, we also were those weirdos fucking skateboarding and listening to rock shit. So we were bringing weird ass rock elements into these spaces, and dudes like, what the fuck is this shit? We're too weird over here. Let's go hang out over here. They might fuck with us over here because this shit's cool. So now we're in the scene and it's like, oh shit. But they're like, oh, these dudes rap as fuck. And then boom. So we got this thing. So then when you're forging these two things that kind of had its moment to live authentically in both spaces, that's where it is. It's not one thing that was kind of raised in one space, and then adapting and going like, yo, I'm going to try this. It's literally like, holy shit. It's a true collision. Like literally I went through times in my life where I only listen to hip hop, and then times in my life where I'm only listening to metal and alternative music. And it's like, so when you hear it, that's why it sounds like that, because it's like, what would we do? Let's combine it.
It's a true ass collision for sure, man. I like breaking it down that way, because I think a lot of people do think they hear rap rock and they think, oh, nu metal. They think, it's the same thing. But because like you said, even nu metal in general, like doesn't fit into one umbrella as much as they try. Basically, if you released anything rock and metal adjacent in like that 10-year span or 5-year span, whatever it was, like you got kind of labeled nu metal. Like that's kind of my favorite thing to do is when I have an artist on that was like, I've had like Sonny from POD and David Draymond from Disturbed.
Sonny, he showed us mad love. Oh my God. Yo, shout out to what? That's my guy. When we were on that the Shiprock that I'm talking about, that Corey sauce on. POD, shout out to those dudes. They showed us so much love. Like I'm talking like, cause like who's not how would we not be fans of PLD? So it was kind of like this moment where it's like, where they'd be like, don't meet your idols, but we met our idols and it was lit. And that's what it was. So shout out to them. And they still show love to this day. Sonny checks in.
Oh, dude, they're
even
so
to our
great.
tour manager, man. He even still like checks with my tour manager. Like he's such a cool dude. Like it's been great experiences. Hell yeah.
I just always love talking to those guys, like people in those genre, about like how they felt about the new metal tag back then. Because most of them were just like, we didn't get it at the time. We don't understand why they called us that, but like whatever, you know.
No, literally, because you can't really dictate the media tags, whatever it's, especially when you're blending, man. If you're not straightforward, just be prepared to get put in some boxes you weren't expected to be in.
Oh yeah. Real quick, I think there's a mad clicking noise. I think your earring might be hitting your ear pod or something. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
Okay. I don't want to make you take it out, but it's super distracting.
Nah, it's all good. All good. All good. Because funny thing, you're hearing it the whole time and I'm not hearing it. So I'm just like, oh.
Well, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, is it on my end? Like, what is that noise? Like, then I noticed, like, when you bounce around, I'm like, oh shit. I think it's you.
Good old Aaron. I love that.
Sorry, man. I hope the hole's not going to close up, right? It's not a fresh piercing, right?
It is. I just got that from Claire's yesterday. No, I'm just joking.
I'm like, damn, he's committed to this interview. He's gonna let that shit close up.
Imagine going to Claire's and getting my piercing. Like, go right to the mall, hit the food court afterwards.
Oh my god. So speaking of new metal, you do have a nod to a new metal legend in one of your songs, Mike Shinoda Flow, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And funny thing that you mentioned that, because Mike Shinoda Flow is something like not just that song came up it happened very weird. We wrote the song just in general overall. The title was just the title because it was based on, we were going to make a song that it was going to be the most rap shit on this project. Like we were just going to, there's bars, as you can see, it's just bars. It is, if you like 16s, listen to this. And we were just like, and the whole point was to highlight the flow, highlight the fact that we don't rap like new metal rappers. And we called it Mike Shinoda Flow because Mike Shinoda is one of the most notable new metal rappers and one of our favorite bands. Like, and one of our favorite, like Linkin Park. Like, what are we talking about? And then unexpectedly, we write this song, we call it that, and then we go on social media and we look and it's his birthday.
Oh, that's right.
It's literally his fucking birthday the day we created the song, and we're like, you know what? And we called it that. It's really just let's leave it like that. So that was just really attributing lyricism in a way, and then giving it a cool ass name that would make people ask questions like this.
Hell yeah. Do you have any idea if he's heard the song?
No, I'm not really sure. I know we have like at least 4 to 5 degrees of separation with that are close. Not even that are like 1 to 2s. But I'm not sure if he directly heard it. So, but if anybody wants to play for him, he might appreciate it because he really does. He really is a true, like, that's what I mean about when like true love of hip hop and rock is married. It really does work. Linkin Park is a great example of that. I'm like, because Mike is like a true fan of hip hop. Like he really loves that shit. Like he studies it and like really appreciates it. And like, so I've always appreciated that, like watching his YouTube shit and stuff like that. He's cool.
Yeah. Have you heard about all the Linkin Park comeback rumors this past week?
They might want to leave that.
Dude,
like Chester's one of those voices where you just kind of be like, yeah. You should probably leave this one alone. It's like in hip hop when there's certain beats where it's like, he raps so he killed that. You gotta leave that one alone. Like that. Like it's like Freddie Mercury. Like there's level of front men that are beyond replaceable.
Yeah. Well, for reference for the viewers, so Orgy, the band Orgy, the front man was doing a podcast and just randomly kind of said that he heard Linkin Park was coming back with a female singer. And then crazy headlines. And then the next day, that same guy, Jay Gordon from Orgy, releases a statement. It's like, I never said that. I never brought that up. And everyone's like, what the? Yeah, you did. Like, there's video of it, man. So
it's right there.
That made it even weirder that he like retracted it that way.
Yeah, and because did you retract it that way because it was an outright lie, or did you retract it that way because you spilled the beans on something that wasn't
Right.
supposed to be spilled?
Right.
Yeah, and that would be the thing is. In the name of art, I think it would be cool. It'd be awesome just to see what it would be and what it would be like. It's just really difficult to shift iconic bands in those kind of ways. And
Yeah.
like what we talked about, like in the same way they get encapsulated in albums, they get encapsulated in lineups too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you can't once you switch the sauce on some of these bands, it will never be the same. And for the main part, frontmen hold that real estate the most.
They really do. Yeah, that's the one of the hardest people to replace. And like Jay Gordon, he, because originally when I heard this story, I'm like, what the hell does he know? And then I found out like, oh, he took Linkin Park out on their very first tour. So he actually does have a pretty deep connection with the band. But yeah, like you said, like it's either he was just saying some dumb shit and then like he's like, I'm not getting involved with this. I'm taking my name out of this. And then he made that statement. Or he accidentally spilled some beans and Mike Shinoda texted him like, dude, what the hell, man?
Dude, we're not supposed to, no one's supposed to know that. I told you that because we were chilling. Like something like that. And
also,
that does happen. Like
I have a third theory. Skid Row just announced that they're coming back with Lizzie Hale as their vocalist. So maybe he got some shit mixed up in his head.
Hold up. Hey, you never know. It's the world of information now. Like you got a million stories you got to keep up with, and
it's hard to keep up.
You could cross some hairs. Listen, that's a hell of a hair to cross, but you could cross some, and it could get you text by Mike.
Oh man! So what do you guys got planned next? What's on the docket? What's coming up?
Just well, we got the Avatar tour. We're doing a tour with Avatar. And Conquer Divide. So that's going to be a really, really cool one. Really unique.
Very cool.
In a way, that's crazy. You'll see some new things from us where we're pushing the boundaries. We're kind of like, this is the era, and this is something that's been spoken about internally, and this is the first time I'm saying it externally at all. This is the era of fuck it, why not?
Exclusive news.
Exactly. So like, this is legitimately the era of fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Like legitimately.
Right.
With Oxy, we're gonna like really, really. You guys, you thought you understood. You do understand, but just understand that the understanding that you understand is that you will never understand.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So enjoy. We're gonna have a blast, and you're just gonna see us do really, really what we love. To give you the Cliff Notes version, because it's just the last few years, even operating in the space, the things that we learned. The positive things that we went to and the negative things that we went through all kind of molded us to be with the band that we currently are right now. And we haven't presented that yet. And that's what we're about to present. And it's gonna be awesome. Like literally, you're going to start to see it. You've like our social media has shown waves of just like, that's why we stripped everything of color. There's like for months now, there's reasons. There's a rebirth happening, and when we launch it, it's going to be incredible. And we're all super excited about what's to come.
So you guys are working on a new record then right now?
Yeah, working on a new
working on something new. So you can't say exactly what.
A new, no, literally a new. When I mean a new everything, a new everything.
Yeah,
We're about, I can say like after you make a record, you tour, the business of it becomes so business, that you pseudo go in autopilot. Like you just kind of going through the motions. You're doing what you got to do. We're back in, oh shit, I'm doing what I love. That space is a beautiful space to be in. And it feels hungry again. It feels new. Everything feels very new right now. And it's just, that's why we're shedding. We're shedding what once was no different from Mohawks and Durax era into Linkin Punk era into this era that you're going to see now.
Hell yeah.
As we evolve, hopefully everyone evolves with us and we just keep evolving with this ride, because that's what life is, man. We're all growing. And I'm hoping that we just continue growing. And like I said, it's going to be way more than just music. It's going to be art.
Dude, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this new era. I saw you guys were added to that cool. Welcome to Rockville Festival too. That's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, yo. There's just so many. I think shout out Danny Warmer. Y'all been showing us so much love. This is crazy. Like I think we're almost on everything. Rocklahoma is the most recent one that we got added to.
Or Rocklahoma. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, and we were just like, oh shit, like this. Yeah, it's just it's been cool because we never played this before. This will be our first time ever playing it. We played Aftershock before. We'll be playing it this year. Louder Than Life, we played it before, but we'll be playing it again. And then also these are a lot of like our first main stage appearances. Danny Warmer kind of like broke our main stage charity when we did what's Sonic Temple Festival. That was awesome. And then now it's just kind of like just to see our names bump up a little more in these flyers is cool. That's one of the things that's always cool as a band. You're kind of like, oh shit, I can see.
Gets a little font, gets a little bigger.
Progress is not having to circle your name on the flyer. That's progress. Like so as shout out to all the bands, we all out here fighting for progress. And I'm seeing a lot of y'all names get bigger too, and it's awesome to see it. That means that we're doing something, and it's really, really cool. And shout out to the bands who will soon be on there too, because I remember always wanting to be here and be on these flyers. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love my favorite thing to do is to go back and look at old flyers and see like really huge bands back when they were tiny font bands, as I like to call them. You know, it's so cool to see.
It's crazy. And you know what's crazy? Like that's what like touring so much has given us a preview to. Also, we walk into these venues and it'll be like old posters of like Linkin Park opening for such and such or this, and it'll be like these massive acts. And I'm like, what? And one of the things that I never forgot, I think we were in Chicago. And then we got to like preview like old like Motown kind of like tour posters and show flyers. Yo, the lineups, for like $10. What are we talking about? One flyer? I was like, yo, this flyer alone may be the greatest show of all time.
Yeah.
Yo, it was Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Prince, with a few songs from Michael Jackson.
What? On one show? Jesus.
That was one show. I'm like, oh, okay. Like take everything.
$10 in advance, $12 at the door, probably. Like
yeah, $10 in advance, $12 at the door, and $50 because you got here. Like and people would still pay it. That lineup is insane. And that's what I mean. So like to see what you were getting for $10 then versus what you get for $300 now, it's like, hey, we got to figure this out a little more. I know fans are getting gypped in this space. This space right here is because I'm like, these lineups, it's either promoters that are putting shows on in very weird ways now, or the level of quality of artists has dropped. Because think about that.
Probably a little of column A, a little column B, man. It's just, it's a different landscape for sure. Like, there was like somebody from Live Nation that was like, you can't expect to see an arena band for $40 anymore. And they're like, yeah, I get that. I understand that mentality. But also, you shouldn't have to pay $200 to sit in the nosebleeds to see a band. That's kind of crazy too. Like,
that's the thing. All right, cool. Up the price, but that's nuts to pay. If you're in a nosebleed and you paid $80, that's crazy.
Right.
That's how I feel about that. Like, let's just be real. Like, people, it has to still be something of quality for people. And then you got machines and scalping. Like, the business is so wild. That's one of the things I try to always be vocal about to fans too. So they just really understand like the parameters artists are working within. And in the phase that we're doing it in the phase that most artists do it in, you really truly do it because you love it. I don't know anyone that's doing this solely at this point solely for the finance.
Right.
Because there's a level you hit when you're pushing in a certain way that if things didn't just go, if the luck of the draw didn't just go incredibly well, it puts a ton of pressure on everything else in your life.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you're making conscious choices now to do things rather than just doing things on a whim. So I do. That's why I always show love, and I do respect no matter what is going on, whether I'm a diehard fan of what you're doing or I don't get the music and it doesn't touch me. I do respect you as an artist, and I do respect every single band, every single person who gets out there and chases their dream in that kind of a way. Because not only is it a dream that's not viewed, valuable by many, but it's also one that's one of the most difficult. So you got some balls.
Dude, like you said, you guys have a Billboard charting single. You're playing these giant festivals, but you can still go get a sandwich and no one's gonna be like, Dave, what's up? No one's gonna like hassle you. So do you ever like get people in your life, like maybe extended family, that like don't really understand like the the depths that you're in it, and they're like, why don't you go to school, be a plumber or something, man? What are you doing with this music thing? Like,
oh, that's all day.
yeah,
That is like that's my story. Like I went to school for law to prove and to get a shot to pursue music, and that's the kind of the deal that I had with my mom. That deal is long and gone, and I've obviously I've shown and done what I needed to do. But even with that, like I try to tell you all the time, like music, the way it's structured right now, financially, you really have to be smart as a band.
yeah,
We right now as a band don't operate. Think about that. With all the accolades you just said, we do not operate completely off of music finances. We all have side hustles. Every single one of us have side hustles that we do when we get off tours. So it's still in a space of very much a sacrifice, and that's, I think, the thing that doesn't get spoken about enough. And I think artists should take the time out sometimes, like I'm doing now, just to be like, hey, take a moment to talk about the reality of it. It's not a sad moment either.
No,
most of the time, it turns into these like people get so, and that's because that's the lens it has on it. It's like the sad thing. And then now, knowing that, you have to sit there with family members and now explain what you do in reference to how, what they're just used to, and how society's the normality of how you kind of take care of yourself, and how I got to explain, my money comes in waves, and yes, I got a song on Billboard and I can't afford a Lamborghini, because you got to realize these things, I guess the best way to explain it, you inherit the brand identities of the things you get associated with.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I tell people that. So it's like, oh shit, you're playing Van's Warped Tour. Vans gave you $1 million.
Right. Yeah, that's just how it works, right?
Those are the equivalents. It's like what? No. Oh, you touring with Corey. You did a Corey Tully Taylor.
You got Slipknot money.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Not even close, bro. Not even close. And I think those are the things that confuse them, because for the most part, the only lens they get to see of entertainment is the glamorous one, the one that's projected, the one that people want to watch is the fantasy.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're doing that, and obviously you're associated with the things that we know successful artists are associated with, you have to be on their level and their financial level right now. Like, what are you talking about? There's no, you're on the same. What are you talking about? Metallica's on the same flyer you're on. You know how many times it's like, sometimes when we get these festivals, I go, yeah, this is great. We got the festival, but now I'm going to have to explain why
this conversation
Slayer,
again.
why me and Slayer are sharing the same tent and eating the same food. It just don't work like that. There's levels to it.
Yeah, people on the outside of the business, they don't like really fully, they don't grasp it. They don't understand how big some things can be on the other as well. They can kind of diminish. Like, I mean, even like I have a show on Sirius XM, but I have family members that'll be like, "Oh yeah, Jesse has an internet show." I'm like, or internet podcast. Like, no, it's not internet. What? No,
no. Don't belittle this massive thing that I'm doing because you don't fully understand it, and that's really where it is. It's those things, and it got really what leveled everything out for us, especially with like family, are the live shows. When they come and they see that, and they're like, okay, these guys they have something, and these guys are really working at it, and they understand, they understand what we're building, and they go, wow, that's something special that you can't get out of 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it's never to knock someone who's doing the 9 to 5, because that was one of also like kind of the things that like in the last few years I've grown up a lot in it, and then understanding, because as a rebel and a person of rebellion who kind of challenges status quos on every level, you kind of get into this space where it's like, hey, if you're not doing your own thing, who are you? You're challenging people in these kind of ways, and it's kind of like, nah. All of these things are necessary, that I'm no more important, and what I'm providing for society is no more important than what they're providing for society. It's just that my mindset and my skill sets lean in this direction.
Right.
So this is where my energy is going to go. They could be just as much as a rebel as me. Going to that 9 to 5 every day, showing their boss a different version of a female or a different version of a trans or whatever, an LGBTQ person, anything, and a different version of what they're used to. And that level of change is the same level of change as a song or a show that I'm playing or something that I'm doing. And it's just really looking at society in that kind of a way and having that understanding, like Like I might do this and this might get put on a pedestal, but never for one second ever question on whether what you're doing in your job, whether it matters or not, because it does. And it's like that. That's one of the biggest things I think I've gotten out of all of these last few years of all this stuff. It's been cool.
I love that, man. That's a profound note to end on. I think you can be a rebel in your day-to-day life, no matter what you do. You don't have to be a rock star to be a rebel, man. You can be a rebel when you're working at Sears or wherever, you know.
Listen, everybody started somewhere, and everybody does what they can, and we matter of fact, I posted this the other day. You know what I'm saying? We never save ourselves; we save each other.
Yeah, I like that. That's good, man. That's a good note to go on. I feel good. About that.
Oh, that's what this life is all about, man. Feeling good, dude.
Thank you for sharing that with me and the millions of fans.
And the gazillion trillions of fans. Oh, no, back
exactly.
To
gonna cut a promo. I know. I used to do that. I would always, in my podcast, I always be like, and thanks for listening, and all the millions and millions of Jesse Lee fans. But it would go over everyone's head because they don't know who The Rock was or whatever. So I stopped doing it.
How do they miss that one? Some people, we got it. Thank God we're back in the cool light.
I know, dude. It's all back. You know, 1998 is back, baby. We're living the great life here. Dave, dude, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Do you have any last minute plugs or socials you want to get out there?
Absolutely. Man, it's no true plugs. It's just Oxymorrons with 2 R's, not one. If you're looking for us, that's the name. You'll find us on everything possible there is that you do things, music things on. We will be on all of them. And if you were looking for us on social media, it is absolutely us. No AI, no interns, and any words that have I in it other than I.
Nice. And I've been Jesse Lee. You can find me at Jesse Lee on TikTok and Instagram, at Jesse Lee Show on X. And please, above all else, no matter what you do today, if you enjoyed this episode, if you thought it was great, make sure to share it with somebody that doesn't suck. All right?
Oh, I'm with that. I second that notion.
Take it easy now, and bye-bye.